For decades, Tom Selleck has been one of Hollywood's most beloved leading men, the rugged, mustachioed star whose quiet charisma and gentlemanly charm made him a household name. From Magnum PI to Blue Bloods, Selleck became the symbol of strength, honor, and humility in an industry often known for ego. But now, at 80 years old, Tom Selleck has finally opened up about a truth he's carried for years, one that involves the legendary actor Glenn Ford, a man who had a profound, complicated influence on his career and his view of fame. To understand Selleck's confession, you have to go back to the early days of his career. In the 1960s and 1970s, Tom Selleck was just another young actor in Hollywood, struggling to find his place. He appeared in commercials, minor television roles, and even as an extra in westerns, a genre he deeply admired. One of his biggest inspirations at the time was Glenn Ford, a Canadian-American screen legend known for his roles in 3:10, To Yuma, Gilda, and The Big Heat. Glenn Ford was one of the first actors I ever looked up to, Selleck once said. He wasn't flashy. He was real. He had this quiet confidence that could fill a room. But years later, after the two men finally met, Selleck discovered that behind Ford's screen presence was a man far more complex. Brilliant, yes, but deeply troubled and sometimes difficult to be around. According to Selleck, Glenn Ford wasn't the easygoing hero audiences saw in his films. He had a temper, Selleck admitted. He could be intimidating, especially to younger actors. He expected perfection, not just from himself, but from everyone around him. During a brief collaboration in the late 1970s, Selleck witnessed firsthand how Ford's perfectionism often isolated him from his peers. He demanded respect, Selleck said, but sometimes it came at the cost of kindness. Still, Tom never lost his admiration for Glenn's dedication. He was from a different era, an era where men didn't show weakness, Selleck reflected. Glenn carried the weight of that old Hollywood image, even when it started to break him. As Ford aged, his career slowed, and the changing landscape of Hollywood, with its new generation of stars, left him feeling left behind. He struggled with the idea that the industry was moving on without him, Selleck said quietly. That was hard for him to accept. Selleck's revelation isn't meant as criticism, but as a heartfelt acknowledgement of the pressures that fame can create. I learned from Glenn, both what to do and what not to do, he explained. He taught me that talent alone isn't enough. You have to stay grounded, or you'll lose yourself. In later years, Selleck admitted that Ford's career and personal struggles served as a warning for him. I saw how Hollywood can lift you up and then forget you, Selleck said. When Magnum PI made me famous, I thought about Glenn. I didn't want to end up bitter or alone. I wanted a life outside of all this. That realization is what led Selleck to step away from the Hollywood spotlight at the height of his fame, choosing instead a quieter life on his California ranch, surrounded by family and horses. Tom Selleck has always been known for his integrity, a man who values privacy, loyalty, and hard work over fame. And as he reflected on Glenn Ford's legacy, he revealed something truly touching. Glenn wasn't perfect, Selleck said, but he was real, and that's rare in this business. I wish more people understood how much he gave to film, how much of himself he poured into every role. Today, as Selleck looks back on his long career, he sees Ford's influence everywhere, in his acting style, his work ethic, and his quiet dignity. If Glenn hadn't paved the way for guys like me, I don't know if I'd have made it, Selleck said. He showed that you could be strong without shouting, that you could lead without ego. That's something I've carried with me ever since.